Yo, what's going on guys? Arekkz here, welcome back to another Anthem video, and in this one, we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the Colossus. The Colossus is your powerhouse Javelin class. It is your tank if you want to run headlong into battle, punch things in the face, dish out devastating damage, and take a lot of hits. This is the Javelin for you. It's also my favourite one so far. It's definitely the class that I'm going to be using first when I play through the game. And thanks to some information that came out of Paris Games Week and some footage courtesy of EA, we have a chance today to take an in-depth look at this class, talk about its abilities, its support options, melee, and even the ultimate. So if you guys do enjoy this, then a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below if you have any questions. If you haven't already entered our Spider-Man PS4 Pro giveaway, don't forget to click that link in the description box down below to enter. And also, if you don't want to miss any of our future Anthem uploads, then don't forget to click that notification button to stay up to date every time we upload a new video. Now the Colossus, as mentioned, is your powerhouse Javelin class. It is your tank, it is your heavy artillery. If you want to get up close and personal, fight things close range and punch them in the face, this is the Javelin for you. It is also the class that is built based off of the Javelin of Dawn, which is the Javelin that General Tarsis herself actually used, and we'll find out more about that in the story. Now with regards to the actual customization options, all Javelins can equip 2 weapons, and they also have their gear slots. However, the Colossus is unique because it's the only class that can actually equip heavy weapons. However, the counterpoint to that is that it cannot equip the lighter weapons, so it can't equip pistols or SMGs, but it can use the Megaton weapons. And let's be honest, when you can use a flamethrower and a machine gun, who cares, right?
Say hello to my little friend!
But of course, outside of that, as mentioned, while every single Javelin is unique and every single Javelin has their own abilities, they do follow that set framework when it comes to customization. You have 2 gear slots for your attack-focused abilities, and you also have a support slot, as well as your melee and your ultimate. So for the Colossus, starting off with your melee ability, you have the Heavy Smash. With this, you essentially use the massive chassis that you have your body, and you use this as your driving force to smash into enemies and attack them. Don't forget, you also have a shield that you can deploy to absorb a lot of damage, but you can also dash into enemies, smack them with this, and just use this to drive through any opposing forces. And the great thing about the Heavy Smash is that it's not only useful for just clearing smaller enemies, but for some of the bigger ones, you can actually knock them down, which then opens them up for, combo potential, or just some other damage from your teammates, as well as yourself. Then moving on from there to the attack-focused abilities. First up, you have the Ordnance Launcher gear. Now under this category, you have the High Explosive Mortar, the Burst Mortar, the Firewall Mortar, the Lightning Coil, and the Shock Coil. You can see this category as essentially abilities that you designate a target location and then you rain down fire on anything that is caught in that vicinity. The High Explosive Mortar launches an explosive projectile that deals heavy area of effect damage. The Burst Mortar fires a volley of smaller mortars that spread out and pummel a wider area of effect. You then have the Firewall Mortar, which fires a specialized mortar round that actually ignites a wall of flame, heavily damaging any enemies that walk through it, and of course that also makes it a great ability to lock off an area if you want to try and have some kind of crowd control. The Lightning Coil will strike a single random target with an arc of electricity in front of the Colossus, and it also prioritizes targets with status effects, so this could be a good way to combo with other Javelin. And the Shock Coil will emit a wave of electricity out of the Colossus, damaging all nearby enemies. However, on top of that, you also have the Heavy Assault Launcher gear. This is essentially the wrist-mounted stuff. So the previous stuff was your shoulder-mounted options. This stuff is your wrist-mounted, and you have the Heavy Cannon, the Flamethrower, the Flat Cannon, the Railgun, and the Acid Spitter. The Heavy Cannon we've already seen. This fires a large rocket in a targeted direction. The Flamethrower, pretty self-explanatory. You burn the targets, and to be honest, from all the ones that I've seen, this is probably the one that appeals to me the most. Anytime you have the option to mess around with elements in video games, fire is always the thing that I gravitate towards, so I can definitely see myself using this one. The Flat Cannon will barrage nearby enemies with a short-range arc of projectiles. The Railgun, kind of self-explanatory. If you played other games with railguns, it devastates a single target with a forceful and precise kinetic round, and the Acid Spitter will expel an acid projectile to damage enemies and then, deal damage over time. However, if you then switch over to your support-focused options, your support gear, you either have Taunt or you have Deflector Pulse. Now, Taunt is really cool because the notion of aggro exists in Anthem. Taunt essentially forces all enemies within a certain radius to divert their attacks to you. So if you are playing with a team of, say, Storm and Interceptor, both Javelin that don't necessarily have a great deal of defense, then you can basically make the enemies attack you so they can then focus their damage in without taking the heat. The other option is the Deflector Pulse, which gives all nearby allies a damage resistance buff. And then of course, to round it all out, you have the ultimate ability, the Siege Cannon. With this one, you deploy a massive cannon, which is ideal for clearing out clusters of smaller enemies, controlling enemies in a choke point, but also putting some extra damage on a boss. It is basically just a very big, powerful, explosive cannon. And when you actually look at the gameplay, when you activate this, the little ring appears on screen, and there are 3 quadrants in this ring. If you time it correctly, they said this during Paris Games Week, but if you time it correctly, you can get off 3 shots. Now, bear in mind, once you activate it, the circle begins to deplete, so if you take too long, and you kind of dip between the quadrants, then you might only get 1 or 2 shots off. But if you do, say for example, the boss is down, you have an open window, you then activate it and start firing straight away, then you'll probably get the most out of this ultimate. So there you have it. That is a look at the Colossus. As mentioned, it is definitely my personal favourite Javelin. I appreciate that, you know, Storm or Interceptor might look more fancy, but there's just something cool about being able to run headlong into battle, put up your shield, take a load of hits, and just punch enemies in the face. So that is definitely, at least on my kind of initial playthrough, going to be my Javelin of choice. Anyway, for the time being, that's it. Be sure to keep it locked because I've got another one of these going live very soon talking about the Ranger. So if you guys want some more information on that, then do check that out. And if you've missed any of the other ones where I've spoken about the Storm or the Interceptor, you can also find those linked down below. But for the time being, that's it, and keep it locked for much more Anthem coverage. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to check out some more awesome stuff from us here at Arekkz Gaming, then you should definitely try to catch 269 and Paradise Central streaming 6 days a week. You can find a link to the multi-stream in the description box down below. They play a wide range of games, and what's more, we also have the Endgame store. By watching their streams, you earn currency, and you can redeem that currency on the Endgame store for really cool prizes. Those can range from things like games, comics, and figures, all the way up to controllers, capture cards, and even consoles. So definitely drop by and become part of the community. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, then make sure you're subscribed and be sure to click on that little bell icon to turn on notifications so you don't miss our next upload. You can watch more videos by clicking on the options here, but once again, thanks very much for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.